games, then the lane matchup against Storm should be quite good for the TA. And also, looking at IG's lineup, it largely depends on Storm Spirit getting off the ground and starting to initiate fights together with the Batrider to generate space in the fight for Weaver. So definitely going to be a very important lane. Is this the first 4 Caudle we see, by the way? I don't know if we haven't cast one, at least. It's mainly been mid. We've seen especially BetBoom running it a lot.
I mean, we kind of talked about it, that these heroes that are picked in these mid roles can end up being support in some cases. We talked about Lesh having that potential, but Caudle, the same thing. When the later you go in these tournaments, the more of these flexes will come out.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that performs for Ari today. But BZM playing the TA against Nothing to Say. Storm Spirit, you're talking about the Weaver, Cinderman. And how does Enigma, I know it's a support, position 5, but how does that fare against the likes of a Weaver late game? Because right now, I'm looking at their lineup, and it's basically just Lasso that goes through the BKB to stop them.
If Enigma gets very farmed in this game, it's just a classic game-winning hero, but getting there as a position 5 takes quite a lot of time, and I look at an IG lineup that is not interested in playing a slow game. I think they're going to try to take charge around the mid-game and not just play a slow farming game like Extreme Gaming did in their series against IG yesterday. Oh, power shotgun and this here on Baboka. That could have actually been a kill.
Yep, it was close.
Tomato would have landed that, but yeah, Enigma definitely has the potential. I think the Weaver matchup is quite interesting in the sense that Weaver is sometimes going to be difficult to catch in Black Hole, and a lot of the times it's a carry that can itemize Orchid, which would be an interesting choice in this game. You're against Windranger as well as Enigma. It could be a potential thing for Monet to go. And also, Enigma without BKB here, it is going to be hard to get a reliable Black Hole, right? Storm can always jump across and pull you. You can get hit by a Panga roll, Lasso like you talked about. So let's see if Seb brings it today. And it all starts in the laning stage where they're putting some seriously good pressure down here bottom, I would say, with their double ranged hero combination of Enigma plus Windranger.
Now, I would say from the support role, though, in this patch, if the game gets to 30 minutes, they'll have a couple items that are pretty impactful. So Blink BKB does not sound too crazy for position 5 Enigma these days. But we shall see. Mid lane, like we talked about, Nothing to Say, sitting on 10-1 right now versus BZM's TA 11-5, so slight advantage for OG so far.
Yep. The lane's definitely going well. It's by no means turning into a worrisome situation for IG just yet. The question is, how is this going to continue? Because in the mid lane, I think Storm, if he gets past the first few waves, okay, he can at the very least go and farm some jungle if necessary, stack a couple of camps with the help of his supports, especially the Batrider should be somewhat free to move over and stack if necessary for a little bit while Weaver can stand his own ground against Caudle Mars is not a killer lane, right? So I do think there's some freedom for Xnova to help his mid if necessary. And the bottom lane, I think that might become the bigger concern though, is once Enigma and Windranger hit level 3, how hard is it going to be for the IO to sustain this Pango?
Yeah. Ari continuing to illuminate in this lane, but Monet really just shrugging it off. 16-0 for him. Off to a pretty damn good start. But actually, I should ask you, you called them IG. Is that what you're going to call them from here on out? G2 IG or G2 IG?
I'm just saying in front of their names in the game it says IG.
Okay, we can also call them Jack Chen if we want.
Yes.
I think that's acceptable.
I think every team aspires to be named by their manager instead of their...
Yeah, he's been a great motivational speaker for them, have some inside knowledge here, getting really angry with their drafts, and I think they've really stepped up their game since then, Cinderin.
I think Definitely in trouble. BZM.
Yeah, he's going to get chased under the tower. BZM will not get the finishing blow, though.
Good damage, though. Really trying to put the pressure here. They will TP in for a little bit of a refill here from Baboka, but it won't be a bottle refill. He's just here for coverage and maybe to try to set up a bait if BZM falls for this.
Yeah, the Electric Vortex there. Baboka links up. Xnova making his way over as well. But BZM ends up getting first blood, surprisingly, on to Nothing to Say. Now Ari with the big Illuminate. Xnova trying to finish the job onto BZM. Will eventually get the kill as Baboka will end up dropping. So a 2-for-1 advantage OG, and more importantly, BZM getting the experience there.
Oh, talk about a win for OG there. The TA getting pushed into Storm and just has enough damage with the level 3 refraction to find that kill onto NTS. And This is going to be a really big advantage in the mid lane all of a sudden. He's ahead by almost a full level. And who knows, maybe they can even find a secondary kill with the TA traps +1 support rotating in. If Baboka's TP's on cooldown or if he's under pressure bottom and can't help out, I would imagine OG are already starting to plan out. They can make another move, and if nothing else, BZM is definitely going to work.
Yeah, definitely abusing this lane now, as we see Whisper getting harassed because all the rotations left alone for a little bit by Ari, so has to be a bit careful. But we can see that Monet, as of right now, is alone in this lane. Oh, X-Nova though, this would be a very nice steal, very early on in fact. It's a lot of stacks for only 5 minutes in the game. A triple.
Yeah.
And looks like he's going to be able to get most of it.
Can't take it fully. Well, this is going to
level 2 Firefly, not quite enough.
a little while.
I'll have to walk away.
Didn't want to use the blood grenade on the camp.
Yep, that's probably a good choice. Ari is spotted, but nothing will come of this other than the D ward. Oh, the deny though.
Really now, you should have seen that.
As Ari, I believe, is going to see that his stack has been messed with by X-Nova. And let's see if Ari and company can do anything about this. Illuminate will be able to get 1 Centaur creep.
Did he get it?
I believe so. It was close.
Yeah, it was very close.
Shield rune stolen by X-Nova. Will be using the Flame Break and just TP. A nice steal, but now nothing to say, getting slowed by a trap. As BZM and Seb teaming up here with that Malefice. Illuminate coming in as well. TP support in the form of the IO. Right clicks from the Eidolon, not quite enough, but Boca links up just in time.
And there is that exact mid dive with the TA6 plus the Enigma, but not enough. They are definitely slowing down Nothing to Say by a lot, and I felt like, once again, this was going to be the lane to watch in this game, and OG off to a great start. Pretty much the entire net worth lead is in that mid lane, about a 1,000 advantage for TA over the Storm. Should be feeling pretty happy about this, and of course, OG's lineup, they are running a more of an active carry, like the panel talked about, in the Wind Ranger, who can definitely get involved in earlier ganks than most carries that are in fashion right now. And that means that BZM, with this early lead, can choose to go a greedy path and just really farm up a Storm here, get like an early Deso plus the Dragonlance. Probably going to see him take this approach. Some nice stacks, despite the Batrider interfering.
Actually ends up helping out a bit in some ways.
Triple, and then he also has, I think that's a quad Ancient stack if I'm counting that right, so.
Nothing to say. Was wandering the jungle to get level 6. He does so in the shadows, but OG should know that he likely got his level 6 now. You can see Tomato playing very passively.
It's a bit of a dead giveaway that X-Nova is laning mid on Batrider this long.
Yeah, that's true.
The Storm has to be somewhere. You can only farm jungle stacks for so long in this game state before I feel like something else is going on. Or Whisper with a little bit of a cheeky courier snipe there. The God's Rebuke. 2K lead for OG.
Yeah, very early.
Very nice for them.
8-minute power rune will be the regeneration for NTS. And I mean, with the changes to regen rune, has that been better or worse for Storm specifically, would you say? Because it used to be the best hero in the game by far.
Yeah, I mean, it's situational, right? In all of the situations where you take damage, it's better, and in all the others, it's worse. So I would say probably overall, this is the hero that it nerfed the most, specifically because he was the best at not getting hit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. As Whisper getting gone on right now. JT coming in with the Rolling Thunder. Now the Swarm attached to Whisper, only a matter of time before he goes down. JT will claim it. And still that mid tower will be saved by G2IG as Seb will take some damage here. Nothing to actually uses a lot of mana just to back away now. Of course, I'm not sure how much this comes into play, but G2IG playing some very late game Dota yesterday. Hopefully they got some good sleep. Those can definitely, I mean, when it's a 70-minute game and it gets that chaotic, I mean, that's the thing I was most impressed by, is them losing game 1 in that fashion and then coming back and winning the next 2.
Yeah, it was definitely a testament to, how to say, just good analysis on the part of their support staff, I think, but maybe also the players after that game, just recognizing, okay, this is how we're going to beat this team. They're playing really slow. We're going to were going to be able to match them in their game and just play better in the early mid, and they managed to accomplish that. OG, quite a different style from Extreme in this tournament, so IG will have to adjust once again. I have to say, the amount of kills in this game is a little bit surprising that it's only been 4 total kills at 10 minutes when you look at the lineups. Was expecting a little more early aggression and rotation, in particular from the side of IG. But maybe this is just what is down to happen when Nothing to Say has this rough of a start in this lineup.
Yeah, but a 10-minute run will be up. BZM. Okay, we got the black hole under 2, and just like that, Nothing to Say is dead. Io looks to be next. Tries to not be able to connect fully, though. A lot of damage onto BZM. We'll use the Melt Strike onto Monet, but it looks like Monet's going to be able to right-click him down as a focus fire now onto JT, but he's going to be able to swashbuckle step down from the high. And looks like he's going to get gone on now, but Tomato thinking twice about it because this is the rest of the IG lineup here by the Tier 1.
That was a really, really fast reaction from Seb and a great black hole. This could have been so much worse for OG, but they end up coming out with pretty much a tie in that situation. I think should be relatively happy about that, considering Mars was not involved whatsoever in this exchange.
It looks like OG want to finish the Tier 1 tower finally. They've been poking at it for quite a while.
They'll get it. Oof,
good deny attempt from Monet, but it will go the way of OG. As Ari working on an Orchid.
Interesting choice. I mean, you're against Weaver and Storm. It's definitely a feels-good item. The question is if he's going to be able to find the farm. As it stands right now, he's in some trouble.
Yeah,
we'll
but
get out.
No stuns available, so we'll be able to TP safely.
Yeah, he's coming home to the fountain.
In Birmingham. And Seba Tomato now grouping up in this bot lane. As JT and Baboka trying to pressure it with this siege, but the siege is getting pretty low. Will likely be thwarted here by OG. BZM off to a very good start on this TA, and that's one of the scariest heroes to get off to a good start because you know how well this hero can farm with these stacks.
Yeah, the good news as far as G2IG is concerned is that they did manage to kill him twice, so it could have been...
Kobold ruining the stack. That is unfortunate. I assume that was OG's Kobold. That would be next level if it was IG.
Yeah. Well, over time, these players are finding more and more little advantages. Yeah. It's quite incredible when you go back and watch Dota from just 5 years ago, like how much better the pro players in the population got in general. And it's all the little things, all this experience.
Yep, it's that min-max culture on their end.
It really is.
You were born 10 years too early, it seems.
Oh, bought in time. I was born in time to enjoy good memes, though, so it's okay. I can live with that.
Fair enough.
Storm and Batrider combining here to maybe think of something. Yep, indeed.
Yeah, Blink almost there for Whisper, though, so that's going to be important time.
Tomato's spider sense was tingling. He was checking out the twin gate here, and he saw it moving, so he's off to the left. And I think IG can't quite get vision just yet. If Tomato stops for any sort of farm, he's dead.
And this camp will be spotted. Nothing to say, looking for the opening. The relocate is coming as well. Electric Vortex, but Tomato able to find a good amount of distance here. Now 3 TPs from OG, trying to counteract this completely. Nice power shot and Nothing to Say, but of course he has the zip.
Okay, he's not dead.
And Whisper doesn't have the blink in his inventory yet, so can't really find the catch. At the very least for G2IG, they do get the tower in the bot lane.
Yeah, they do disengage as well, but yeah, that looked like it was going to be a kill, but they couldn't connect the Batrider in time onto the Vortex, and instead...
Oh, okay, Baboka does not have his ult. And that is the death of Nothing to Say. JT died in another lane as well, so all of a sudden OG coming out on top of this fight, that's for sure, is the arena reserved just for Baboka. 3 for nothing, and maybe even a Tier 1 tower. And now the race for the 14-minute Wisdom. Whisper steals it.
Yeah, this is about as good as this could have gone for OG. They dodged the Wind Ranger gank, just Tomato with a good sense, a good read on the situation and getting off the Wind Run in time. In the meantime, BZM somehow chases down this one onto JT, and then they find both these kills in bottom and they steal the Wisdom. So that could not have gone any better.
Yeah, that's the double blink for OG now, so already being used to increase their lead here at 4K. 14.5-minute mark. And of course, we've talked about ad nauseum with TA, but definitely a good Roche taker once we get to that timeline, which I believe the average timeline is around 21 minutes or so, Cinder, so it hasn't really changed that much.
Don't remind me.
Still owe me that dinner, of course, as we have a pause to talk about that dinner if you want, but instead we can ask the crowd. Let's get a little taste for what people want here, Cinderin, all right? Who is rooting for G2IG? Okay. What about OG? All right, what about Jack Chen, also known as Korean barbecue? That's more than G2IG. Okay, that's good. That's
well,
good
if we
to know.
combine them, it might be close.
Yeah, that's true. And what about Ari?
I think it's understandable, though. I think a lot of people are fans of Korean barbecue. It's very good. So. I get it.
Indeed. So these double blinks already being used very effectively for OG as Seb is one disconnected. We can talk about his build right now. He has a mech going along with his Tranquils. And I mean, would you be expecting... I mean, obviously the blink BKB at some point is going to be, I would assume, very important for him.
Yeah, generally speaking, support Enigma goes one of two paths. It's either this one, and then you can consider something like Vlad's or Pipe, like whatever auras the team needs, maybe sometimes drums, boots of bearing, whatever. Or he starts planning the blink BKB now, and you can see he has nothing in his quick buy, so I think he himself hasn't really decided yet what type of game it is. There's upsides to both builds. If you feel like you have the timing with your team and the mid game is looking really solid, the aura can make the difference between just flat out ending the game or losing a fight. The blink BKB is much more of a late game securing build, but it also takes very long and it slows down your tempo as a team a bit. So, see what he decides. I think both options in this game are good. Like when you're in this luxurious of a position where you're 6k up minute 15 with this lineup against the enemies, I think both paths are completely viable, and therefore you will go ATOS, which is neither. So there you go.
The ultra greed, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. This was not on my short list of 5 items I would have seen Seb put in the quick buy, but more catch. I guess he wants to be able to find the storm.
Yep,
it's going to be really
Weaver.
nice for both his Windranger and of his for his TA to just get that little bit of a route to connect. So I don't mind it. I think this is really game specific. This is not something he would usually buy, and goes to show that he's thinking very critically about.
I mean, root against all 3 cores of IG is very annoying, right? I mean, a lot of them itemize against it, but if it's a position 5 forcing you to BKB or something like that, then that is well worth the Atos pickup as Seb.
All right, if he upgrades it to Gleipnir, I'll give you another dinner. All right, here's Bat is in trouble.
Yeah,
that's
dead. The death. All right, but he does get his blink in time, so they'll be waiting for him at base. As Monet has his Maelstrom and Dragonlance, so farming potential will start to increase heavily. We've been seeing a lot of the Gleipnir build from the likes of Weaver. Been extremely effective in this tournament.
Yeah, the Windranger is close to hers, as a matter of fact. Just 100 gold for Tomato. This will be a very big item in this game, Gleipnir. If you find 2 cores together in the snare, it is enormous for both the TA and Mars to combine their follow-up abilities initiating into a team fight. I actually think this is the strongest part of the game for OG that we've seen so far right now. This item is a true game changer. Let's see if they have any plans of putting it to use. IG definitely slowing down quite significantly though, but perhaps they can find an opening. You're playing with IO, you have Relocate, but they're not really taking much initiative.
Yeah. There's a lot of traps, and BZM has his shards, so this is a silence on top. Very dangerous for IG. They're going to zip on Seb, but the Gleipnir from Tomato from afar. Storm is just dead right off the bat. The focus fire coming in. X-Nova will drop. That's already 2 dead for IG, and JT has to try and roll away on top of a trap. He gets silent, and he's just going to die as well. Double kill for Ari, and OG taking firm control of this game, baiting them into that fight.
Yeah, this is such a good response from Whisper, just getting in there. And they go for the lasso on the Windranger simultaneously. I feel like looking at this as a replay, I think this is a really naive way for IG to approach this fight. I think if you want to go for this, you have to instantly relocate in and get some damage. They have serious damage issues. Storm is going to jump someone, and their follow-through just isn't... It's just not relevant. This wasn't even close to an Enigma kill. He didn't even have to use mech. So... Yeah, look at those damage numbers. Just nothing really coming out. And of course, Whisper with a very clear, quick response from Mars. I think that looks super easy.
Yeah, Seb, like you said, still with the black hole, so OG don't really have to stop because all the other spells relatively low cooldown. I mean, even the arena is only 30 seconds away from being back.
That Orchid for Ari.
Yeah, he did get it.
He got it a lot faster than I was expecting. Just the state of the game with how much it slowed down and then OG finding 2 good fights. He is doing so well right now. And there's that Atos, man. I feel like we talked about these items like a minute ago and they just completed both of them.
And that's what happens when you win a fight handily like that, I suppose.
Guess so. I think for G2IG, you're going to wait for BKBs at this point. I think the fights are not playable anymore. There's way too much utility on the side of OG. They know this. They know IG can't contest them, so they will take a free Rosh.
Yeah, it is half HP right now. As we're going to see a potential pickoff onto Seb, as the relocate is coming for him as well, so Seb kind of sacrificing his life. Meanwhile, it looks like, yeah, X-Nova was eventually found, and this will eventually lead now to the Rosh for OG. As they will get the return kill, as Io makes his way back over to relocate. Does get the mech before the death, though. So an important item for IG, and really the question is, when will the Storm, Pango, and Weaver get some sort of dispel for all these roots now, and the Orchid?
Yeah, Weaver is clearly not going to be involved until BKB in this game anymore, and for nothing to say, he was looking at a Witchblade. I wonder if he's going to even complete this or just keep his Oblivion Staff and be like, all right, I can't fight without BKB anymore, and just skip. No, he's still going to complete it by the looks of it, so I think playing Storm in this game right now is stupidly difficult because so many heroes in the enemy team have some sort of solution. Windranger has the Gleipnir, Enigma has Atos, there's TA traps, Caudle has Orchid. Basically everybody, when you jump, you need to account for all the variables. It's really, really difficult to play that way. And OG well aware that every time Storm jumps, they just need to get something on him, and the only save IG have to offer is a relocate. And that's probably going to be too slow. OG have so much heavy single target burst that heroes will just die within 2 seconds.
Yeah, IG did get their Tormentor, and the Shard went to the Aya, so spell lifesteal essentially for whoever is linked up, which theoretically for Storm could be pretty powerful. And the slow resistance, very important. Something we always talk about. But Boboka gets a nice little cheeky steal on the Wisdom Rune as, Orchid with the arena coming out. Whisper with nice layering. Illuminate to follow. Way too easy as Ari picks up the kill. And with Io using the relocate to steal the Wisdom Rune, don't really have any avenue to get away without a Dispel yet for the Storm. And it looks like Nothing to Say isn't even building a BKB at the moment. He has it queued up as a next item after he finishes Sange Kaya. So getting a little status for this, maybe that'll be enough, but it's down 11k. That's rough stuff.
I'm not convinced. I think BKB is mandatory. This one.
Well, the high ground attempt now from OG. Why not? 10k lead already. Whisper not able to finish his BKB. His courier was sniped. BZM gonna get lassoed into the base, but the instant Gleipnir to hold the Batrider in place. BZM looks like he'll burn through the Aegis. See if Whisper and company can try to counteract this. Arena's not quite up yet. A nice roll right onto the TA as BZM is dead, but the counter black hole onto 2 isn't enough with the spear on top of the Storm Spirit. He's very low, but they don't have the damage. Nothing to Say actually zips away, and the Pango lives as well. A nice defense here from IG as Seth. He's going to be spotted and brought down. Tomato, instant Orchid. Nothing to Say is way too deep, all alone. Brought down all by his lonesome. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 as the chase continues. Monet wants more. They need more from IG. Shield crash onto 2. A nice flow as Ari going to heal up with his Illuminate. Finally, Whisper's ult comes out to try to hold them in place with a snipe on the JT from Tomato. Has to be careful as they are quite low. So a double kill for Tomato. So that might break up the fight here. Really back and forth. Looks really good for IG initially, but
yeah,
the Storm without BKB punished again.
OG being able to turn that into a draw basically at the end there is quite incredible. Just again, it's the utility items, right? It's that IG, we have the numbers advantage. We really want to push into this enemy team, but OG with all of these utility items, once again, just having that little Orchid here, having that little ATOS there. Storm cannot just feel like a 3v5 fight is free for him. As if he's low on resources, the counterplay is just really quick coming in. I will say, though, that was a little bit, despite OG kind of salvaging that, they bleed, right? It's got to be feeling okay-ish for G2IG here to at least show some promise in a fight, because it feels like it's been so quiet for 10 minutes for them. It did have to come to them in their base, but show what their lineup can do if things line up.
Yeah, that's the rule of poking high ground before second Aegis. That's not allowed in this patch. They will have to wait. That'll allow IG to get a little bit of extra time to farm these very crucial items as, yeah, so Nothing to Say did, I believe, oh, actually, no, he is building the BKB instead of finishing the Sage Kaya, so can't say that's a huge surprise, especially after that Orchid from Ari is literally the reason he died there.
Yeah, after getting Orchided the third time, he like, okay, maybe I need BKB. All right, that trap actually did see this, so this could be a really key moment coming up.
Radiant are scanning.
OG will reinforce, so bringing more heroes to the table. This is a pivotal moment in the game.
BZM trying to bait things out. He's going to get initiated on, but the instant initiation from Whisper with the arena, they're going to be able to clean up too easily. But still no BKB for the Storm, and still getting punished as JT. Onto the high ground he goes. BZM and company will be trying to shadow him. Do they have the stun? Yes. Third kill for OG. And along they march on in this bot lane. Creeps are relatively close, so should be able to do a little bit of pressure to these outer towers.
That one trap allowed OG to have all the information in the world that this was coming, and they get to bait the TA. So I believe BZM had a shield rune there, bottled up, and he was just waiting to break the smoke, and just, he knows if I get the shield rune off, they can't burst me.
Yeah.
They just don't have enough damage, and they need time to relocate in. So full on playing the bait, and it works out wonderfully for OG.
Another silence into the spear. Weaver taking a good amount of damage with the black hole to fall. Baboka trying to heal him up, but it's not enough. Monet's dead in his own base. 50 seconds on the deck. Despite this Pango and Storm being up now, I think they lose a set of racks now. So OG just all over it in this game number one.
They might try to get a bigger advantage out of this too. I think they want this buyback from Weaver to be forced out, but guess what? He doesn't even have it.
Yeah, and this tower already was damaged from a prior fight, so maybe just a second lane if they're not careful. 30 seconds for the Weaver as BZM will force out the second fortification. Now these buildings are going to be free to hit. Rolling Thunder being primed. Not opting to go for it quite yet, just burning a little bit of mana from BZM. Gleipnir onto the Storm with the Orchid to follow, and the arena. Do they have the damage? They get the Storm again. Nothing to Say is dead. We'll have to buy back. He does have it. This is going to be second lane of rack for OG, but instead Whisper with a double kill now. The Rebuke absolutely deletes another member of IG. And they're just going to continue on, not thinking any buybacks will come. Batrider buys back first. Now with the two-lane advantage for OG, and this is without that second Aegis. OG breaking all of the Ice Frog rules right now. Can IG punish this? Doesn't look like it, and OG will just retreat.
And the early Roche respawn is in 30 seconds. If OG get their hands on another Aegis, this game is just over.
Finders.
And even without it, can you climb this absolute mountain as G2IG 23,000? They're going to go for something now. They do have the relocate ready, and they know there's no black hole, so maybe some sort of opportunity can be found, but it's going to be a really tall order. And OG can bleed a hero or two here. It doesn't really matter if somebody gets caught. It's not like IG are going to get a major objective off of it. Even if Roche spawns early, I don't even know if they can take it. We know now that it's a minute 20 away. G2IG just don't find anything with the smoke. They are hamstrung. This might be NTS's worst game of the tournament, by the way, in terms of just raw stat line. 1-8-3 on the Storm. And mind you, this was a relatively late pick in the draft as well. So he had some information available, went for this pick, and it has backfired in a big way.
We've been talking about for 15 minutes, still no BK.
Yeah,
My goodness, he just cannot find the space to farm right now.
I feel like the Witchblade might honestly have been a mistake, and I know it feels bad when you already have the Oblivion staff, but if he could have had the BKB one fight earlier, perhaps that could have changed things a little bit, because, I mean, what does it matter that you have the Witchblade, which is nice for damage, if you can't even hit a hero? Then, you know, it's just dead gold, effectively.
As we can see, Roche relatively close to spawning. And OG, if they're able to, I mean, I feel like IG have to contest, surely.
Yeah.
I don't think you can defend, especially once a couple buybacks have been used for IG.
So Lincoln's now coming out for Tomato. He's going to be borderline impossible for the side of G2IG to go on. The only real catch you have is Lasso and the Storm's Pull, and you block one of those with Lincoln's, you're probably going to be able to react and get BKB off.
Dire are scanning.
Yep, Seb's inventory is looking very good now.
Oh, BKB also.
Got the, yeah, so Blink is next. I'm not sure if you might be right. He might not be able to finish the game with it, Synderen, because they don't need it. But the BKB should, in theory, close the book on game one for IG unless they're able to get something crazy. I mean, I guess the Basher, which he's not going for on the Pangolier, is another option that we didn't really talk about. As X-Nova brought down.
BZM also going to level up in a big way here. He just went from having a backpack Crystallis to now having a full Daedalus.
Ooh,
and
mechanic on Whisper. Oh my.
You can't contest now without that, so this is free. And it's also very fast, mind you. It's a good tag team to kill Roche, and they will put the Aegis onto BZM and the cheese onto Tomato, who can get full value out of that cheese. He has a very solid health pool, sitting at 2,500. The boons of the Universal Heroes is that a lot of the items you want to buy also make you tanky.
Yep,
so
nice boon. Well, the BKB is up for nothing to say. Will it be enough, or will there be a black hole on top of him? In which case, it will do basically nothing.
Oh, why don't we just get a Caudal Axe for the push as well? Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, the old Ignis Fatus.
A little more control for OG. They could definitely use another item here.
Yeah, why not? Gleipnir onto BZM. He's the one with the Aegis. Cheese is on Tomato.
The Melt Dispel Taunt here, just immediately getting rid of that Gleipnir.
The lanes are relatively pushed, so IG can actually stick around here for a bit more before they have to reset. The mech coming out from Seb. Whisper with the initiation. Arena is there. Already the Pango really low, but gets healed up at the last moment. Black hole onto Do the Storm, and the Weaver are caught inside. Monet is dead. Instant buyback for him. There's nothing to say. Does activate the golden item, but will have to use it in retreat as BZM's Aegis is expired here. And the tier 3 pretty damn low. They're going to try to surround BZM, but a nice Gleipnir on the 3 heroes. Whisper with a huge rebuke on the 3 as well. But BZM is actually melting in the cover here. Looks like they will be able to take out the TA eventually, as Whisper left all alone. Tomato and company trying to do some damage to Monet to get that die back, but it's not going to happen. So good defense from IG. They lose the tier 3, but the buildings, the range and melee that is, do survive.
It's a good defense, but that cost them a lot. That was 2 core buybacks on the Pango as well as the Weaver. Step with another great black hole. I don't know how he keeps finding them without even having the dagger. It's just finding Storm and Weaver together should be borderline impossible in this situation, but somehow they were stacked up for just that moment. We got the perfect setup for this engagement. And now there's a very clear path to victory for OG, right? Kill the Weaver or kill the Pango, and you probably have yourself Megas. So they find either of them on the smoke.
Yeah. And I believe Blink will be there for Seb by the time they try to push again anyway. If it was hard enough to get away from him before, it's going to be nigh impossible now.
Yeah. I think OG can probably go with a lot of confidence with just sending Mars in front. Like, the amount of resources that G2IG needs to spend to kill off Whisper will probably...
Gleipnir opening, focus fire onto Baboka. Using the steel totem, but he will die. Does have the buyback intact, though.
Arguably, IO, the most lore-accurate hero to use it on, actually just bounces like a ball. So. Looked like an actual spell on the hero.
That's true. We just need a basketball hoop to make it all come together. Universes collide. Monet, okay, double bounty, not going to go for it. Wants to go for 7 instead, but we'll back away now. Tomato looking for a straggler. Nothing to say. Has basically no mana. Shackler shot, focus fired, dead. Great pickoff for Tomato on the other side of the map. Why is he even there? Is what Nothing to Say is asking. He does have his buyback, and now they're going to spend basically everything just for this defense. Nothing to Say. Seb actually pops the BKB as JT getting melt strike very low. The mech comes out, but a beautiful arena coming out from Whisper, and that's the death of Baboka again. A dieback for the IO, and this will now be mega creeps in favor of OG. And Monet, another last stand attempt. The last one was there. They do take out BZM, but Tomato and company almost taking out Nothing to Say. He will actually limp back to base, just barely getting out. I'm not sure IG can even chase any longer. Tomato looking for some more snipes, but I mean, the Diffusal Blade is doing quite a bit for JT in the mana burn department, but again, all the barracks are dead. So one more reset for OG. Of course, no Aegis. You have that cheese, though.
Quite a strange scoreline to look at this. It's 30-10. Half of G2IG's kills are on the TA, and he's still top net. Kind of odd. Not a common sight here, but
yeah, that's true.
BZM. The thing is, G2IG have had to focus him, right? This TA is the target that they have access to, and that they feel like they need to kill because of the damage to health ratio, and it's just set up all of OG's other players for really easy fights. Playing around that, they all get so much freedom. All right, that's a couple of key items coming out here. MKB for
Yeah, nice Lotus. Will-O-Wisp is there as JT getting very aggressive with the Rolling Thunder, not doing too much damage though. Has to be careful because Tomato's there with the Focus Fire, but had enough shield crash, damage mitigation. Seb getting the Atos, but we see the arena finally coming out from with a BKB. Basically the entire of IG is inside of it right now. Even the Tormentor working against them. They lose 3. Now the silence applied to the Weaver. Down goes Monet again as GGs are called. And OG take game 1 in emphatic fashion.
BZM